Hello my precious everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm coming at you live from the nerd den. I need to hang my poster that was right here back up. I had it and it fell like behind my bed and I never bothered to get it back. I really should because there's a very obvious hole there amongst all my other stuff. But anyways, welcome back. Welcome to my 2024 year review. I definitely felt like this year was a little bit off for me content-wise, so I wanted to make this video to reflect on the past year, the things I actually did get done, kind of explain where, I don't want to say where things went wrong, but why I've been a pinch less active this year, and then also share some of my plans going forward for 2025 so that hopefully we can be excited about them. I do have a feeling I'll be rambling quite a bit in this video, so I am going to add chapters so you can skip around to the parts that you're interested in. So I'll begin with the cosplays that I did this year. I've broken this up into two parts. Cosplays that I did actual like proper photo shoots for will be the first part, and then the second part will be cosplays that I received but didn't necessarily do anything super substantial with, like maybe I wore them to stream or like did a cost test of them, but they never wound up like going to conventions or having like an actual photo shoot done for them. So the first half I'll be doing are my proper photo shoot cosplays in no like particular order. These are going to be somewhat chronological, but it doesn't matter that much. Is Gender Bent Joker. I did this actually on a whim. I'll probably add this more in detail in my bite-sized story times, but I was supposed to do a different cosplay that day and wound up switching last minute to a feminine Joker instead, which is fun. Got Takemi, the Doctor from Persona 5. Wanderer, I did do him last year. He was one of my cosplays that I received and tested but didn't actually do anything with because I got him towards the end of that year, but I wore him to Uchicon this year. Kawakami, who's also from Persona 5. She's the teacher who I look like more than I wish I did. Farazan, we didn't do like a proper photo shoot, but I wore her to KuroshiCon and we got a couple photos in like the front area. Miss Kafka, who I need to get a new cosplay for because the one that I had, I made it work, but it's a bit too small for me, and I would like to wear that cosplay more often, or maybe to a convention, and I just can't with the one that I have. I wore Lyney to C2E2, I believe it was, with my siblings being Fremine and Lynette. It was a big year for Anya for me. I did both her like normal home outfit and her like school uniform, and I wore both of them to conventions. And then I also did Branya. I think Anya and Branya are my favorite cosplays of this year. I also did Wendy, who I'd been needing to do for a long time, and very recently, was it yesterday? I think it was the day before yesterday, Bianca and I did a Becky photo shoot, who's still technically Kawakami, but like her maid version. Those are the ones who have like either proper photo shoots or I've worn them to like a convention, so I have like a substantial amount of content in them. And then now we're bouncing over to the ones that I have that maybe I just tried on or maybe just wore to stream. Those ones include Gladys. I more properly completed her earlier this year. I was going to wear her to conventions, but every time I was planning on wearing her, it just like never really panned out. But I took a couple videos as her. Also, I did Gender Bent School Joker, I think on stream, go along with my feminine like normal Joker. Paula from Earthbound. I wore her to a ton of streams this year because I was streaming Earthbound. It's my favorite game. When it gets warmer, she is high on my priorities list to take photos of. Caitlin from Arcane. I can't quite remember when I received this cosplay, but it was helpful because Arcane Season 2 came out, and even though I have her Season 1 outfit, it reignited my love of Arcane, and so I've been wearing it a little bit more. I'm counting this one Prom Zelda because I wore her to a convention. Basically a very princessy Zelda without being one of her official outfits. I wore this to C2E2's prom. I did like another like cozy college vibe Zelda. I don't know how much we count those, but I wanted to count my prom one at least. I also wore Kabe. I wore him to a convention, but we didn't really take many photos of him, so I put him in this section. Also Fatui Balladeer, who I also did wear him to a convention. I wore him to Anime Magic. I met Patrick Pedraza as him, but again, I didn't get many photos, so I still feel like I want to take more photos in these cosplays, so that's why he's in this section. Robin, who I'm going to wear to C2E2 this year. I think she's the cosplay I'm most looking forward to, but I have a lot of work to do. I'm really dissatisfied with the way her wig looks on me. I don't know why. It's like, it's not working, but I'm really looking forward to being her. I think she's such a pretty character. Also, I recently got Mona. Bianca was kind enough to gift me her wig, and I have her outfit. Now I just need to find a Mona hat, which I think will be difficult. And then also Kyrie. I don't quite remember when I received Kyrie. I got her as a present from my mom, but I threw a little Kyrie look together for stream yesterday, and I really liked it. I know that the wig I have is like a wavy wig and Kyrie has straight hair, but honestly, I'm getting to the point where I have a lot of wigs and a lot of stuff for cosplays already, and my funds are going down. So even though it's not the most accurate wig, I think it looks good, so I might take photos with it anyway and not buy a new wig for her. Those, I believe, are all my new cosplays. I may have missed some, maybe like 1 or 2 of those I started working on last year. I don't fully know. I tried to check some of my older stuff. It's definitely less than prior years, but it's not an insignificant number. And I didn't count a bunch of ones, like one-off ones I did of D&D characters to wear to sessions, or like inspired looks, like I wore Farazan to a stream, but I did like a modern day Farazan, so I didn't count stuff like that, although they kind of do count. So overall, I think it was still more than I had expected, because I definitely feel like, especially in the last half a year, I feel like I kind of fell off. And this next chunk, I'll be explaining why that is. Not that I have to justify myself, but you know, I like to touch base with my community. I consider a lot of you my friends, and I enjoy hanging out with you. And I enjoy that you enjoy my content and hanging out with me. So I just kind of want to touch base with where I've been at and hopefully where I'm planning to go from here. I talked about this on Instagram like a week or so ago, so this might be a bit redundant for some of you that keep up with me on there, but you can probably notice that the amount of cosplays in the second half, like the ones I received and just tested or wore to stream but didn't take like real photos of, is about the same amount as the cosplays I did do photo shoots of. In past years, the amount I did photo shoots of like vastly outweighed the ones I didn't, but they've slowly been catching up to each other. I also have some leftover ones from previous years that I have already but didn't take photos of, and they've just been kind of stockpiling. I worried for a bit I was falling out of love with cosplay. I don't quite think that's the case though, because in my free time I still engage with a lot of cosplay content. I like watching YouTube videos and Instagram reels about people's cosplays, and my list of Cosplans and dream cosplays keeps growing and growing. And if someone told me they had $1,000 to give to me and I couldn't spend it on like bills or groceries or credit card or whatever, just purely spend for my enjoyment, I feel like all of it would probably go into buying cosplays for myself, because I still have a strong desire there to be a lot of characters that I haven't had the chance to be yet. And so I think it became more of a motivation energy thing. Actually putting on the cosplays themselves was half the fun for me, but I guess as I'm on like year 3 going on year 4 of cosplaying, I think some of that novelty of transforming into someone else kind of wore off. And as I've gotten busier, actually finding the time to physically put on the cosplays has sounded more and more tiring. Of course, it is slightly scheduling, but not really. I've had plenty of days where me and Bianca have been free. She's my main photographer and my bestie. I love my bestie. But those days we've been free, I don't prompt taking cosplay photos. Instead, I rather we go out and get coffee and talk about D&D or do tarot readings or something or play video games together, because that's more where my energy levels are at. It is kind of funny in some ways because I don't really enjoy the crafting aspect of cosplay. I want to get better at some aspects like wig styling, and I would like to relearn some basics of sewing, but I'm just not a super crafty person in general, which might be surprising. It's just not really what I enjoy. So if I don't enjoy making the cosplays and I also have kind of lost the joy of putting them on, part of me wonders, like, what am I doing this for then? But once I'm actually in cosplay, I do enjoy it and I find I'm having fun and I love taking a bunch of photos of myself and I like being creative and coming up with reels and wearing them to streams. I think I enjoy the performance aspect of cosplay, or wearing cosplays to create content from it. That part is still really fun for me, and I like coordinating group cosplays a lot. I like wearing them out in public, and I do, for the most part, still enjoy doing my makeup. Once I'm actually in the process of doing it, it's just motivating myself to get to that step has become more difficult. I think I've just been struggling with priorities and time management and also like energy management now that I'm older and adding more to my schedule. And this might sound like a strange thing coming from a 23-year-old. I don't know what it is because I still get plenty of sleep, but I feel like my energy ain't what it used to be. Maybe it's the winter depression hitting, but it's kind of been lasting for most of the year, honestly. Regardless of what it is, I'm at least familiar enough with myself to try and think of ways to counteract this, because I still very much do have a desire to cosplay, and so I'm going to actually bake time into my schedule to put on cosplays, take photos, work on my Twitch channel, think of YouTube video stuff, film reels, instead of just doing it how I did in the past, where I just did it when I felt like it. Because doing it that way has led to me falling off of quite a few things. And I know that might sound bad, like I'm forcing myself to do it, but it's not quite that. It's just sort of the way I operate as a person. In another example, dance is a huge part of who I am. Dance like 4 times a week. It's in my consistent schedule because I take and teach dance classes. But if you asked me in like my free time, especially now that I'm on like a winter break, if you were to be like, hey Mel, do you feel like dancing right now? I would be like, no. That sounds tiring, and I do not want to do that. I have other things I want to do. I want to play Genshin. I want to read Tower of God. I want to watch YouTube videos. But dance is still a huge part of who I am, to the point where if I don't dance for a couple of weeks, my mental health takes the steepest, fastest decline. It's incredible, really. And once I'm actually dancing, I enjoy it and I love it and I feel like myself again. It's just that step of getting me to get up and do it is hard sometimes. And that's how it's kind of become with cosplay, and so I'm going to counteract it the way I do with dance. I have a consistent dance schedule, and so I'm going to try and create a consistent cosplay schedule for myself. I'm going to try to give myself grace because I don't want to burn out and I don't want to make cosplay something I dread, but I don't really think that's going to be the case as long as I don't overdo it, because it is genuinely something I enjoy. It's just been that step of getting me to do it that's just been harder this year. And so I think having a schedule is not only going to help me put out more consistent content, but also hopefully help reignite some of the love/motivation to actually do it. Of course, time will tell. I may need to adjust things as the year goes on, but I've been doing that for like a week or two, and so far it's been working. I've been more productive in my like social media realm. Before I jump into talking about some of my other socials, here's some of my cosplans for 2025 so we can get hyped. or maybe not if you're not interested in them, but that's okay. My interests have definitely shifted into Genshin and Star Rail. I've started to cosplay from them a lot more, and because they have so many characters, because it's a gacha game, there's a lot of characters, both their personalities and also their designs, that I enjoy, so the list is pretty long of ones I want to do, but here's some of my top ones. So I really want to be Herta, Runmei, and Fischl from Genshin. Well, the first two are from Star Rail. Fischl's from Genshin. And then also like Mona and stuff that I've been collecting things for. I know I set this as a goal like in previous years. I made progress on it. I want to finish my Persona 5 cosplays because my goal was to cosplay all the female confidants. I've done all the like main Phantom Thief girls in their school outfits and their Phantom Thief outfits, and I've made my way through a lot of the confidants, but I still have to do Ohya, Hifumi, and then the twins. I'm hoping to finally complete that this upcoming year because I finally only have a couple more. I also have a big pile of cosplays that I have all the parts for, they just need photos, and so this upcoming year, especially with money getting tighter now that I've been paying for like voice acting classes and things like that, I want to focus on really using the cosplays that I have. Of course, I'm a human and I'm kind of a materialistic person. That sounds bad, but I do enjoy having things. My room is filled with nerdy things. This bed that's always covered, filled with plushies because I love plushies. So I don't think I'm ever going to just get rid of the part of me that keeps wanting to be new characters, but I am going to try to use the cosplays that I have more, actually take photos and videos in the cosplays that I already own to help prevent me from getting new stuff and then not actually using them. That's not a good quality that I want to bring with me, so I definitely want to get in the habit of using my old cosplays more. I think I would like to actually try to see some of my past projects through. I'm going to switch gears real quick into some social media updates. As of today, I have these statistics, that sounds fancy, but it's just the count written down here, so pardon me while I read for a sec. So on Twitch, as of today, again, could gain more, could lose some within a minute. I have 290 followers. This has been a fairly strong year of growth for me on Twitch. I feel like it's been pretty consistent. Like, no, there hasn't been a huge surge necessarily, but I feel like every stream I get like a new follower. Like, it's been very steady, slow upward growth, which I really enjoy. I'm enjoying getting to know the new people who consistently show up to my streams and I'm able to recognize them. And I've been having a lot of fun streaming on Twitch this year. It's a nice way for me to wear my cosplays more. People seem to really enjoy them. And it is kind of nice on like YouTube. I still do like making YouTube videos, but on Twitch you can just go live and then leave it at that versus preparing scripts and filming and editing here. So it is a little bit easier too for someone like me who can struggle with time management and motivation. As for Instagram, I have 730 followers. Next year, I would definitely like to post more consistently. I used to have a rule for myself a couple years ago when I was more consistent that I wouldn't take more than 4 days between posts. So minimum I was posting twice a week, and now it's like every couple of weeks I post a thing. So I definitely want to jump back on that. That's going to be a focus for me this year. And on YouTube, I have 261 subscribers. My recent video that I posted gained me a couple more, so hello if you're watching this. I feel like that's a very solid number considering how inconsistent my postings on YouTube have been this year. I'm trying to be realistic. I'm definitely still going to try to keep posting, but I don't want to, along with all my new plans for 2025, be like, yes, I'm gonna consistently post all this stuff to Instagram, and I'm gonna consistently do all these YouTube videos, and I'm gonna make my Twitch better, and I'm gonna do blah, blah, blah. I think that will be a little bit unrealistic and probably wind up with me burning out. So I'm going to more or less treat YouTube the same. I know I could definitely post more on here, but for 2025, I'm going to focus on my Instagram. So I'll try and keep up with this to the best of my ability, but I'm trying to be realistic with myself and with y'all. Some of my other plans, as we're wrapping up here, for conventions, I am planning on going to KuroshiCon, C2E2, Fan Expo, and Anime Magic. There's cons I want to try. I want to go to AmpKey one year, but I definitely don't think that's happening 2025. I want to try GaryCon. I'm curious about Colossal Con, and I definitely want to try ASEN. ASEN's a maybe, but I think I'm definitely going to try to go to the other 4. I don't want to reveal too much, but my friends and I, we definitely applied to run a couple of panels at some of those conventions, so I hope that they go through and that you can check us out there. We do have some fun stuff in the works. I don't want to say too much without the permission of my friends, and we're still figuring some stuff out, so I'll keep it at that. As for me personally, I'm also a voice acting student, and I'm set to like graduate from my course this year, so I hope that you can look forward to stuff in that realm coming from me. I don't want to say too much or overpromise or anything because I'm still in the course right now and I don't know how things are going to go for me, but I am very excited about my potential future in that industry. Please keep a lookout because I'm very, very excited about that new like career path. I think that brings us to the end. I think that's all from me. It's definitely been an interesting year. In a lot of ways, I feel like I maybe fell off, but also upon actually reviewing, I think I actually grew in a lot of areas and on a lot of these platforms, and I did do more cosplays than it felt like I did, so I also might just not be cutting myself enough slack. Thank you so much for joining me in whatever way you joined me this year, be it on YouTube, probably if you're watching this, or coming to my streams, or engaging with my cosplays on Instagram, or even like meeting me in person at conventions, attending my panels with my friends. Any way that you showed me any support this year, thank you so much. Again, I'm trying to be realistic with myself about this upcoming year, but I'm also very, very excited for what's to come, so I hope that you're excited too. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video and in the next year. Bye-bye!